I think I lost to Charleston Chew, guys. That's how I'll start me coming back. Is I think I lost to Charleston Chew. I was eating it, and it might either be in my mouth or on my mom's fancy chair. So either one, not great. Should check first. Not on the fancy chair. I ate it, guys. Let's congratulate me on being a grown up. Thank you. So Malaysia, I'm back. How does it feel?
It feels great. It was, well, last week was amazing because we had the wonderful, wonderful Nate Nix. Everybody was hype about that one because that's a great guy, man. That's a smart, smart dude. We love him.
I commented, "All shit, y'all are properly spaced." And by properly spaced, you mean at our own homes?
Yeah,
Let's
what the
get the
heck?
show on the road.
Facts. So if you don't know where you are by now, guess I to tell you. Interesting. Welcome to Insert Name here, brought to you in full technicolor and living sound with the dulcet tones of the great Alejandra Tejeda.
That's me chewing on the Charleston chew.
Yep, chewing on the Charleston. It is called a Charleston chew.
Oh, just making sure. Mm-hmm.
You're such a Bostonian and a Negro, to be honest. I only know old Negroes to eat Charleston chew, but okay. Anyway. And me, your resident raspy voice bitch, your favorite hoe here all the time, it's me, Malachi Unique. Sometimes I forget to introduce myself. It's fun. But yeah, oh, off topic real quick immediately. Remember that time Alejandra introduced herself as Malaysia to a group of people by accident? Not as a joke.
Show.
But by accident, not as a joke. Like, let's be clear. She was not joking. She did it accidentally.
It was, purely accidental. It was quite tragic. In front of a lot of people I still don't know that well. It's okay.
She was like, I'm Malaysia. Wait, actually, I'm Alejandra. Actually.
When two people spend a lot of time together, they take over each other's names.
I'm like, where is this going? All right, then.
Where we want to go? Where we want to start?
Well, not that first thing.
Not that.
That's a little special thing. Why don't we just start with Domingos and
the saga, the Mass Ave saga?
Yeah, let's do that.
Guys, let me tell you something. First of all, I was missing last week. I tried to tune in, but I couldn't. I was in Puerto Rico. But what I have to tell you is that got a COVID test, negativo, and me and Malaysia were riding together today to an event, both masked up because obviously I could still be contagious or whatever. And near Mass Ave was a man with his whole head in the dirt.
It was
in the grass, in the dirt. And I just wanted y'all to know this. Not because it's like a good thing, but it was really fucking funny to walk past this man, his whole head in the dirt.
Drive past, walk past. We ain't no walking niggas no more. We's got automobiles.
We've got automobiles, buddy. We's no walking no more.
We ain't walking no more.
Yes. Okay, so Mass Ave always wildin', but Domingos, our friend, was officially given the restraining order to stay away from the governor's wife. Not the governor, but the wife.
See, it's corny because nobody was even talking to her. Like, she had nothing to do with it.
Allegedly, they were chanting her name too, Malaysia.
Oh.
So she felt threatened.
Oh, I'm sorry. The scary black people were chanting her name. My bad.
Yes.
Sorry.
So
the scary blacks and browns. My bad.
So get it. Right.
I'm sorry. Her husband is a dickhead. That's my bad. Sorry, he doesn't care about half of the people in this state. Sorry. Sorry, I wasn't there to be arrested as well. I'm also sorry about that. Um,
It kind of sucks that, not sucks, but I understand why Dominguez doesn't want to get arrested for it. But part of me wants somebody to get arrested for it, especially after somebody tried to break into his house last week or 2 weeks ago, was it? I can't remember if we talked about it. And he wanted to leave the governor a note. I think that man was just like mentally unstable. But it was kind of funny. I ain't gonna hold you. It was kind of funny. I don't know. The governor's a piece of shit. That's all I have. That's all I have about him.
I'm tired of him.
I'm just in conclusion tired because this is why, guys. This is why. It took Dominguez dumping a bunch of needles and his wife filing a stay away order for like the Globe and the Herald to actually write pieces of like stuff, just articles about the situation. Like they've stopped since like until Dominguez and the rest of the crew that are part of the like South End Roxbury Community Partnership Group, like until they started going out on Thursdays and until Dominguez and them started going to
Swampscott.
Until they started to go there, nobody was really paying attention to the situation, even though like the situation was increasingly getting worse. And one observation that I had today was like it was pretty empty. They had like police barricades along that path where they used to like cage them in, which is an interesting development. I don't know, like where did like Malaysia brought this up when we were driving past. Where did they go? Where all these people that were once on Mass Ave, where are they now? And I have the answer, Malaysia, and I have the answer. They just go deeper into the city to like deeper and deeper expose everybody to the like despairs that is like drug addiction and homelessness that exists in our city. So now all of people can experience it. It's wild. It's crazy.
Lovely, right? That's what we want, isn't it?
Don't you? He wants, I guess. And his like defense is always like, oh, we've spent this much money on opioid crisis and opioid addiction things, and I'm like, well, it's not working, so what's the plan?
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, what do you want? Like, huh?
I was looking for my phone. It's doing this. It's always confusing to me because like if the policies that you're currently using aren't working, or the methods that you're currently using aren't working, then you can't just say you've plugged in a bunch of money and then like go, oh, it's done. That's just not how it works. You need to actually put in effort, and like if something doesn't work, be like, okay, we're going to try something new. We're going to listen to the community. Instead, all we have him do is get his wife riled up, all defensive, going to court against a black man, which already looks hella bad. And you get freaking continued tons of people with drug addiction just existing on the streets. So nothing gets addressed, and he just says, oh, we've already put money to that.
Like, man, it's corny. It's really corny, to be honest. But whatever, dude. I mean, the issue's not gonna disappear just because you ignore it. So whatever you want to do, bro. Whatever.
But do something, please. Do something besides what you're already doing. Thank you. Because it's not working. And that is what I gotta tell you.
So let's talk about Lydia Edwards.
Oh yes. So I was supposed to, I think I forgot to put this last week. But oh no, it was the day after our show. So she's had her second hearing last week on getting a ballot question to change the city charter so that city councilors will have more ability to make changes to the city charter, obviously, but the budget and other things like that, where they often don't have enough like room to make changes, and which is why like budget time, it's always a mess because the only thing you can really do is vote yes or no. There's not like an addendum you can make to it, and not a change you can make, not anything that you can
our system, our like city system is very executive heavy, so the mayor has a lot of power for like appointing over budgets, over a lot of stuff. So I think this is an important thing to fight for. No matter who becomes mayor, honestly, because it's just all that power should not be concentrated that heavily in the
At all.
executive branch. It makes our city, it doesn't help our city function at all. The mayor is not, doesn't have to be accountable to the people, and city councilors can't really do anything, to be honest. So
Anything beyond like advocate and bring up public hearings. So I'm hoping this is something that it would be on the ballot next year, from what I saw.
that would be great.
So that would be like really good. And that's the one of the only things Lydia has been really like helpful for in terms of like her being a city councilor. I think obviously we all remember the budget vote, how she voted yes on the budget and said still I rise while defending white supremacy. We ain't forget that. And I will never forget.
She's corny, to be honest.
But
Just corny in general.
trying to change the city charter, cool. I agree with it. I rock with it. I hope it can get done because I think almost everybody besides, you know, the usuals don't agree with changing the city charter.
The usuals, yes.
Five-Car
Yeah.
Flaherty,
Hmm.
the others whose name are forgettable.
Ed
Flynn.
I was gonna say Ed Flynn. What's that funky ass Frank?
Funky ass Frank.
Is funky ass Frank on the side of changing?
What's his name? Frank Baker.
Frank Baker. Yeah.
Yes.
He want to keep it.
So we're going to see what happens there. I think it's quite interesting because everybody talks about changing the city charter anytime like a budget goes through that people don't agree with or some major decision goes through. People are like, we need to change the city charter. And then
we should though. Like, it's not exaggerated. We should change it.
That's the worst part is it's not exaggerated. I feel like a lot of issues within Boston are like, it's not exaggerated, but we never do anything about it. So it seems like it's just like, ha ha ha, we should change the city charter and move on.
Yo, shout out to Google just randomly signing me out of hood consultant things. Wow. And I have to type in the password. I was just looking at the document. That's fun.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
While Malaysia does that, let me talk to y'all about something in Catholic news. Catholic news. The Pope today basically said even more it's okay to be gay. Also, my grandmother is getting home, so Malaysia might have to mute me for a little bit.
Oh, man.
There is no good place to film. And in case you're wondering, this is why I film in a different area.
I'm going to mute you. Yeah, so, dang, what were you talking about? I have to type in my password again. These are the problems. This is why we get together to do these things. Because it's way easier. Okay, now I want to play games. Okay, all right. Anyway, that was great. Oh yeah, the Pope was like, yeah, being gay, okay. Can I unmute you? Are you ready? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, so basically he was like, like the Catholic Church should recognize unions between like people that are gay, and obviously like the extra conservative Catholics are like pissed off. Like there's one in Rhode Island that's like, no, this should never be done. Like, how dare you guys?
How dare I like it when people question the Pope on what's Catholic. Like he's literally the authority on what's Catholic. Yes. He's the Pope.
According to how it is, he is the most holy on like earth.
He would know, would he not? Like he's the Pope. If you believe that, like if you believe your religion, like I feel like then you should listen to your fucking guy. I mean, at least he's not touching children. Like your last few that y'all liked better, apparently. You like the child touchers.
It is always quite funny. Every time the Pope says something that like the Cardinals don't agree with, how much they get pissed off.
He's the Pope. You shouldn't have chose him. Y'all chose him. Y'all chose him.
And
Oh no, I mean God chose him. I'm sorry.
the white smoke chose him, or whatever it is. I still think that's one of the funniest parts of this.
Okay, but spirituality is witchcraft.
It's
But
y'all
white smoke
vote for him, and then you put
can
white
choose the
smoke.
Pope. Oh, my phone decided to Google spirituality versus religion. I didn't say that. Shut up. Get that away from me, you listening ass
Hey,
bitch.
nay, we are twinning.
Yeah.
Shout out to TJ Maxx Marshalls.
Yeah. Shout out to TJ Maxx Marshalls. Keeping
talking
it.
about weird institutions, the staties, most of the top ranking state police officers have troubling past in that they've had either
troubling past. The poor innocent boys with troubling past.
troubling past. They've all, had misconducts.
They've all beat the fuck out of people.
Nearly 1 in every 5 state troopers has at least one sustained misconduct charge, or one that was investigated and confirmed, according to the internal agency.
Allegedly, they all beat the fuck out of people.
Like,
somebody is actually alleging these things, so it's not even like a haha allegedly.
This man has 28
28
charges, according from one incident.
That's more than my age. 28. That's more than Nay's age.
Like, abolish the stadies. Let's start with them first, because
the
stadies are basically just the mob.
Out of control. Like,
the stadies are a mob. Oh, this dude, another captain, has 3 charges across 3 cases. One is for improperly running background checks.
Oh yeah, but there was FIO and niggas out there, huh? They was like, "Are you Kevin? Are you Kevin? Where you going?" I wish I could play that video.
So, in conclusion, just a bunch of people that are breaking the rules all the time and getting paid well. Like, this is a top-ranking stadies. Like, we already know it's true, that your top-ranking officer is the one that makes the biggest amount of money.
That's always the case.
Like,
cops are so corrupt. Like, all of them are bastards, to be honest, if you didn't know.
It's just crazy.
Sorry, some of y'all my homies, but you shouldn't do this job, TBH.
Because I just don't know, like, especially being a stadie. If anybody told me that they wanted to be a stadie, I would be like, oh, so you want to
you want to abuse people, you want to break the law, you want to be Whitey Bulger, but legally.
Oh, okay.
Like, sure, whatever, man. It's all you, baby. I kind of want to jump to, like, before we talk about schools, I kind of want to jump to, like, some of the foreign news.
Oh, well, we can go into Nigeria based off of our, like, police brutality / police conversation.
Yes.
With the stadies.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about SARS, which isn't that also the name for, like,
of a disease? Yes.
Okay, just making sure, because I was like, what, when hashtag Nigeria SARS was coming up before I had, like, paid attention to it, because I didn't know that was the acronym. I was like, we got SARS too?
Right, COVID and SARS.
But anywho, so in police, the SARS is like a police unit that's supposed to be, like, against theft and, like, all of that, like, corruption and stuff. But it was well known for being quite the opposite, as most police units are.
Yeah, well, especially imperial, colonialist, like, post-colonial police states, which Nigeria is in a lot of ways because of corruption. So, yeah, a lot of people, especially young people, are being abused, robbed, and, like, killed, and it's really bad. It is. And there's been a lot of protesting, and yeah, a lot of people putting their lives on the line. And this all of this internet, all these news stories are very connected today. But
lots of them very connected to, like, policing, military, corruption, abuse, and things of that kind of content, which is interesting. Like, and obviously, I don't like to say pray for Nigeria, but rather I have hope for the Nigerian youth that their, like, concerns and, like, changes are met positively,
Facts.
because at the moment they're getting like killed and attacked for just protesting. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes we forget, like in a lot of countries, well, here too, protesters are like attacked and killed. But in like other countries, like protesting sometimes is just like a death warrant.
Yeah,
Like you're
like
pretty much signing away like your rights to humanity at some point. So
facts. I mean,
praying for them in Nigeria, because it's tough, because Nigeria's been facing this for a long time, but nobody's like, I don't want to say not wanted to do anything, but it's been difficult for them to do things.
facts. Yeah. But yeah, just trying to hoping to find ways to support and like just make it that part of our conversation when we're talking about our liberation as well. Like I think really making sure that we're talking about worldwide, like sort of, you know, dismantling of these oppressive structures, because as the famous quote says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So we gotta make sure that we're keeping those in our thought, because like though in Nigeria they were protesting police brutality in America when we were protesting back in May and June in those places. So
Oh, there was there's per usual, there's a diaspora beef.
oh yay,
Per
my favorite beat.
usual, when we should be discussing other things, there is a diaspora beef at the moment.
Who?
Where um where people where some like some I haven't seen any usually, and this is always the case. Usually, when like a foreign country is saying stuff, I see the tweets of the like Nigerians being like, "We shouldn't support Black Lives Matter if they're not going to support us." That's the tweet I saw, and then I saw Black people like Black Americans like, "What are you talking about? When we talk about Black Lives Matter, we don't just mean in America. That would be foolish. It would be like counterproductive."
Yes.
Diaspora wars are always started. Nothing new, quite honestly, but it's quite sad, because it's just like it's never useful for us to be pitted against each other when we're like one of us is fighting something.
Yeah, it's I'm tired of it. Stop. Like, just stop. And I just want to say, like, to give attention and not give attention to something real quick. I don't want to talk about none of those freaking people who are just jumping into the political conversation a couple weeks ahead of the election. They're not on my mind. They're not on my radar. I don't care. I don't like, nobody else should care. Like, I don't listen to people who don't fucking read or write or think. Stop. Like it's all about the money. I said it last week. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's over. Like I don't wanna address any of those people. Like there's no need, no reason.
In fact, there's no need to address them. Like all you celebrities, you famous people with millions of dollars coming in to say something right before an election, go away. You weren't saying anything months before. Just go away now. That's just all it is. Like, go away now, because you're doing nothing but be more divisive in a time period where that's the last thing we need. Like, we already got it. Why do we need more of it from like our own community? Like, we already don't want to vote for these people. Like, but also, if you're taking your political advice from celebrities, please don't.
I mean,
your local celebrities.
We know what we're talking about. People trust us. But yeah, I think we should just go off the international news. So let's talk about Bolivia. So talk about it.
Bolivia, the Socialist Party won their election 1 year after a coup. But they're faced with lots of uncertainty. And here is why. The coup last year was a military coup. And if we know anything about military coups, is that when a country doesn't have control of their military, even if an election was like done and it was like free and fair, it means nothing.
Facts.
If your military is not behind your elected officials, it means nothing.
Yeah, that's true. those Bolivian like citizens though, they
Yeah,
really
about
went
that
out
life.
there and
Yeah.
shed their blood and tears and sweat to make sure that they were able to vote and have a fair election. The coup party couldn't even rig it because
That's
they
mad funny. Like you had a whole year to rig the election and you couldn't do it.
because the Bolivian people were so they're just like, yo, we not taking it, bro. We not fucking taking it. Fuck y'all. It's great. I fucking love to see that shit. I wish we would do that in America, but we don't because we're fucking cowards. We're corny losers.
Also,
Anyway,
interesting fact that a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it's how do you say his name? Evo Morales
Evo Morales.
was the first like indigenous slash native um president of Bolivia.
I knew that, but yeah, I don't know if a lot of people knew.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
but
a lot of people know that. So it's an interesting fact, and other bits of like colonialism and imperialism. And
especially in South America, indigenous folks um, getting in positions like that is major because in a lot of places people are being exterminated. Like this has been hundreds of years of extermination, killing, and sterilizing, and all types of stuff. So,
it's like
um,
and he was also the president. I think this had he not been ousted last year, it would have been his like fourth consecutive term, which is problematic within its own right. And like a lot of democracy watchers, which they're like, if you don't know, democracy watchers are like organizations that like their whole purpose is to make sure that your elections are free and fair, and that democracy as it stands in your country is going to remain. There were like questions about it, and that's a fair thing to like be like your
concerned about, yeah.
election was like contested, like it's a little question mark. So that was fair, but the coup is always like
And and the U.S. was definitely backing the coup.
facts
Like
for
Donald Trump was
Elon
very
Musk.
transparent. Oh yeah, Elon Musk, bitch
Elon Musk is
ass.
after their
Uranium?
lithium.
Yeah, lithium. Yeah,
Lithium.
I
So
think.
Bolivia produces one of those resources, and Elon Musk obviously, Evo Morales is very like a socialist and very much for his people. And Elon Musk is after the resources that exist in Bolivia. So he was very much for the coup because it basically would allow him to gather the resources that he needs for his Teslas. So it's a win for the people overall.
Facts. Elon Musk is evil.
Mr. We will coup whoever we want, deal with it. You South African
Bastard. I was gonna say that too, but I want to freaking bore you are. You're fucking African or you're
like
a fucking Dutch boy. Get out of here, Dutch boy.
More, like imperialist and neocolonialist do you have to be than to say we will coup? What is it again? Let me read it. I had pulled it up just to read it. We will coup whoever we want, deal with it.
What are you talking about? We like it was you? Were you part of the conversation? Because that brings up more issues, sir.
And fun fact, they get their lithium from Australia. He states, which could be false because that man is also.
I don't believe him.
Cray-cray?
He's probably getting it from some mine with children. Like, let's not play ourselves with his corny ass.
But
he looked like a demon.
A big week in that news. Hopefully, the situation in Bolivia doesn't like escalate in any way because obviously, they have a new president because Evo didn't run because he's been ousted from the country. He hasn't been in Bolivia in about a year and a half or maybe more. He's lived in like Mexico and Argentina, hoping to get back home. So that is something. Also talking about lithium, there was an article about, I can't remember which African country.
Arce.
Yes,
Arce.
I forgot his name.
Was elected.
He worked under Evo, like he was one of his like second in commands. So people are like, he's just going to be a propped up president for like what Morales believes and what he wants, and I'm like,
they voted for him though. Like they want him. The fuck?
Sorry, like. Sorry to tell you.
Like, bro, like, what if he? That's why I could say the same thing about Donald Trump. He's just gonna be a propped up for what half of the country wants. They voted for him. The fuck?
I'm sorry. That's what I got to tell y'all. That's all. Hey,
LOL.
just giving you the world news.
And then final world news for today. There was an oil spill off the coast of Venezuela, which is lovely, of course, because we need more ecological disasters.
I should clarify it because I read more about it. There is a giant ship full of oil that is tilting and could potentially spill a lot. I think it's starting to spill, but it hasn't like spilled.
Oh, it hasn't spilled yet. Oh, look at me giving fake news.
It's because I put oil spill, but that's because I thought it said spill. But it's like imminent spill, pretty much. Like
it's a possible future spill but still my point stands because we definitely need more ecological disasters right about now. We the Dawn they already stopped giving us that concentrated soap. Now I don't know, do they have enough to wash the ducks? We don't know.
Do we have enough Dawn for the fish too?
I don't think the fish could take Dawn.
You can't wash no fish with Dawn. But it's funny.
I know.
It's funny.
I was
that's something Donald Trump would say. He's like, we can just wash the fish with Dawn and put them
just scrub the fish and then put them on the grill. That'll save them.
But yeah, there's like millions of tons of like, what is it?
Crude oil.
It's carrying 1.3 million barrels of crude oil.
Ugh.
And the Exxon spill of 1989, one of the worst spills ever recorded, was 11 million.
1.3. Wait a minute. I didn't register that number in my head when you said it. 1.3 million
barrels.
How much is a barrel in comparison to a gallon? Oh, 80 million gallons of oil. What? 80 million. Stop pumping oil, you bastards.
Stop fracking.
Stop fucking fracking. Just stop pumping crude oil. We don't need it. Stop. Bruh, it drives me crazy. It messes with my mind that this stuff keeps happening. We ignore, like, this article mentions the Exxon Valdez spill of 1989. 1989! This was happening in 1989. And by the way, back then, Exxon knew that they were causing climate change, by the way.
They all knew. That's the sick part.
Let's be clear.
They were doing. And the sick part about this, to me, is that, like, Venezuela last month was asked about this ship because they were concerned over it. And a month later now, we're in a concern that this thing could tilt over and spill 80 million gallons or barrels of freaking crude oil into a sea that's already suffering. Like, and we're like still recovering from that like area, from that spill, from the BP spill further up in the like Gulf Coast of Mexico. Like, y'all are making me sick. Like, there's not gonna be a Caribbean anymore with no fish.
Honestly, y'all love to go
to the Caribbean.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I got distracted by It's Okay to Be Gay, but I agree. Why is that in the chat?
Oh, I put that there because you said that's when you were you're saying, what did I say? And I was hoping you would see that in the chat. I was hoping you'd see It's Okay to Be Gay, because that's what I was talking about. But also, it is okay to be gay.
Yes, it is. Anyway, and it is in all caps. That's why it distracted me. But anyway, yeah, we need that to not happen. Like, people, tourists already took advantage of the Caribbean in a lot of ways. And then if oil spills and starts destroying, or starts, well, it's already started, but continues destroying the local ecosystems, that'll make people want to stop coming, and then it's bad. It's just like imperialism, man. It's tiring. Empire.
It's like those articles all say, we only have so long until our Earth is just shit. Do you really want to live on an Earth that is just unlivable? Like, I know people think it's like fake and stuff, but at some point you have to understand that all those sci-fi movies, they're coming true. and
We
climate
haven't.
change will come for us.
Facts. And we're not gonna find a planet. We're not gonna go to Mars. It's not happening, bro. Like this is our last chance. This planet is it, my guy. Like
This is our last resort. Suffocation.
cut our life
No
into
breathing.
pieces. This is our last resort.
Just saying, you know, it's an amazing song that teaches you well to not freaking, you know. Whoa, sorry. I saw something on Twitter that was mad funny. It said, "Don't black mom with a family full of white kids." Sorry, very distracted. Guys, we're very distracted today. I'm very foggy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It
I
was
know what's
very
going
rainy.
on. It is, yeah. That always gets me weird.
Rainy makes you weird.
It also makes my rheumatism act up. Don't
In fact,
like
my
that.
bones are all, I was gonna say crunchy, like crunchy.
Yo, I'm thinking about like some weird fairy tale where giants are
Crunchy.
gnawing on your bones. No.
Oh, I hate it. Okay, never mind. Next topic. We talk. Who's Jeffrey Tobin?
The guy. It's not funny. The guy that masturbated on Zoom, and Twitter was in shambles today. So this dude like works for the New Yorker and he works for CNN. Yeah, sorry, I should have put Zoom dick. I put his government. He works for CNN and the New Yorker, and when he was on a meeting and somewhere else, I think, but when he was on a meeting with the New Yorker, he apparently, according to him, he made a mistake. He thought his camera was off, but he was showing the dicky ride to his little coworkers and stuff. And he was, doing something with the dicky ride, according to, I think, Vice, or it was either Vice, Vox, or Variety. It was one of them who reported it. One of them V things. I don't really care. One of them niggas. Y'all found it. Y'all will find it if y'all look. But yeah, apparently that was a thing. So then everybody on Twitter was arguing about it, and a bunch of people were exposing themselves by saying, well, everybody masturbates at work or whatever. And everybody's like, no, everybody doesn't. Like, what are you talking about? Yo, of the many things I've done at work, bro, mainly cry in the bathroom. Masturbating really never crossed my mind. I had never thought to whip out,
with that thing. I was gonna say that thing, but I was like, that's not what you have.
Yeah, with my tiny dick, my very, very small penis. They actually have really big clits, to be clear.
It's it's quite like, it's not funny for the people that were obviously like exposed to
so
because that's obviously like very like
traumatizing. I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that, bro.
It is quite funny.
My thing is, so the New Yorker, like, what's it called? The New Yorker suspended him. Okay. The New Yorker suspended him, and he took like a leave of absence from CNN because the New Yorker's doing an investigation into like whether they want to terminate his employment and shit. But yeah, so everybody was in shambles over whether it's like a terrible overstep to masturbate in a work environment, or like, yeah, if it's cool. And I'm just like, just why? Like, bro, like, what was so sexy about that fucking New York magazine meeting? Like, why like, just don't answer the call, to be honest.
Or like, I don't know, like, don't answer it, don't do that during a work call.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, do it after, do it right before, just like anything, bro. Like, hang up and be like, oh, come back, hang up, whack off, come back, be like, oh, I had connection issues, I don't know what happened, the call dropped. Like,
there are so many things he could have done that
like, sir. So that's the part that makes me feel a little like, I don't know, you might have been liking some about your coworkers being on Zoom. That's the part that makes me a little, because there's so many options, my guy. And whatever, man.
It's just these people are crazy. That's all I got. You crazy. Like, I'm sorry to use this ableist language, but that you gotta be crazy to do something like this.
What about Hunter Biden?
Oh yeah, Hunter Biden. Allegedly Rudy Giuliani
Oh yeah, I saw this.
has acquired one of his laptops because Hunter took his broken laptop to a repair shop, a man who is blind repair shop.
And wait a minute, let's be clear. Hunter Biden was apparently in California, and this repair shop is in like Virginia or something.
It's in like Delaware, I think. It's like near where his dad lives. Like, obviously he's from Delaware, not where his dad lives. It's like in Delaware, I think, is where Hunter Biden like left the laptop. But allegedly, it has a bunch of bad stuff on it. And Rudy Giuliani, for some reason, has decided that it's this large attack against Joe Biden. And I just want people to know that your kids, like, what they do in their adult lives has nothing to do with you.
I just don't.
It doesn't affect, like, that's not
like my question is how bad worse than just being on drugs, because that's not that bad. Like,
somebody like allegedly
they claim it has child porn, but but they say everything has child porn. If it has to do with Democrats, they say child porn. I don't believe them that it has child porn. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. So also, like, bro, you better send those pictures to the authorities.
The fact that Rudy didn't immediately report it to the authorities,
that's what I'm saying.
He had access to it makes it not credible to me. And of course, to like Trumpers and those people, it's going to be extremely credible because they're going to be like, Rudy was just doing the proper thing. He was looking through the drives, making sure.
Why didn't he just send it? Why didn't he just send it to, bro? Like, if you think you have something illegal, bro, you don't just comb through it and leave your technical footprint all over everything. Like, what are you doing? Evidence tampering, you weirdo. Like, Rudy Giuliani knows this. He's a freaking lawyer. Like,
please, Malaysia, please. I'm reading an article. On October 14, Delaware computer repairman John Paul Mac Isaac, that's a long last name, claimed that in April 2019, a man who identified himself as Hunter Biden brought a liquid damaged MacBook Pro to his small repair shop. Mac Isaac said his poor vision prevented him from personally identifying the man as Biden.
Like, how made up does this sound, bro? Like, let's talk about it. What, bro? Why doesn't really Giuliani just like either send it to the authorities or just show everybody? What's the like? What's up?
Like, the fact that he decided to go through it and then call the authorities is such a grime move. Like, if you respect the law, if you think that the FBI and all of those systems deserve respect, would you not just hand it over to them immediately?
Yeah, they can do their job, bro. Like, they're supposed to do their job, right? But like, you know,
what they did was grab pictures off of it to smear Hunter Biden, somebody that struggled with drug addiction.
Bro, that picture of him in the bed, he didn't even look bad, bro. He kind of looked cute, to be honest. He kind of looked like that rock star. You might be like that white boy who's kind of talking to you weird, saying a little strange, but it's kind of maybe. To be clear, I don't do white men, but he wasn't looking terrible in that photo. I'm gotta say, he wasn't looking any worse than some of those people y'all staying on Twitter. Like, he wasn't, bro. He definitely wasn't. Plus, he had a salt and pepper going on. He was looking okay.
I said, this cracking's not doing you bad so far.
I say, I don't know, man. He didn't look terrible. That man has had a hard life. Like, let's talk. Like, to be fair, like, Hunter Biden isn't really like, he isn't a political figure.
Nope.
So you should really like leave him alone. Like,
it's one thing to talk about Ivanka, talk about Jared Kushner. Kushner, that's his last name?
Yeah, Kushner. Yeah.
To talk about Don Jr. I could not remember his name.
Freaking Don Jr.
They are active members in the administration. They're active members helping their father in whatever way.
Once Tiffany gave a speech, it was appropriate to talk about her ass.
Period. She said LGBTQIA the other day. And I think it was
what about
T?
Yeah,
trans people.
Excuse me. What about T?
Yep. So this is just like, it's really sick. Like Malaysia said, Hunter Biden's had like a really shitty life. Him and his brother were in a car accident that killed their mother and their sister.
Yeah.
When they were young. So their mother died very young. And then Hunter Biden's brother, as many people know, Bo Hunter. Bo Biden. Bo Hunter. Why they name him like that? Bo Hunter. That's like the same thing. You got you little Bo.
That's probably like why. Connections. And then from Delaware.
Facts. But Bo serves in the military, comes back a hero, gets brain cancer and dies. So for a white kid, this guy
also Hunter Biden served in the military as well. It wasn't, he had like struggles, but like he also enlisted. But like, yeah, so I thought y'all respected veterans
with mental health issues and addiction.
Whatever. Anyway, and this has nothing to do with Joe Biden, to be honest. Like, it really has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Like, you like when they just randomly started attacking you, like, bro, the text they released were like them saying "I love you" and shit. I'm like, this looks. You look bad for releasing this. There's nothing wrong with this. What's wrong with you guys? But anyway. I think our last two issues they're very similar. So let's talk about the exam schools.
Exam schools. First, I guess we'll go to just the most obvious, and that BPS is closed down.
Oh yeah, facts.
Like dropped. If you didn't know, in like Hyde Park and other areas, the rates were around like 9% of I was gonna say acceptance rate.
Yes, COVID acceptance.
Positivity rate? I don't know what that word is.
Positive. Now you got me fucked up with your inability to speak. I miss Nate. He knows words.
Yeah. Hey man, say man. So there's a lot of COVID. In conclusion, there is a lot of COVID in the city.
There is a lot of COVID. There's a lot of COVID.
It was agreed on that when it reached past, like, it was like 4 or something, that if it passed four.
I'm saying 4 because it's at 9. Like,
yes. Oh, okay.
That's a lot more than 4.
I thought you said 4.
No, I said 4.
Okay. Besides that, it was like once it passed 4%. That they'd close schools, and then Hyde Park and other like areas started getting higher and higher, and everybody was like, "Why aren't we closing it?" And then today,
someone famously said, "Close the fucking schools," and added VPN. Even I'm not that bold. Goddamn.
So the schools are closed.
Now they fucking closed.
And now the discussion continues about the exam schools, and there's a whole beef. Are you guys ready for this beef?
Let's hear it.
Ready for this jelly.
Because our body's so bootylicious.
Because I'm ready.
I'm ready because it's so expected. All right. So this is what happened.
Of every year,
go ahead.
The what is it?
ISEE. You took it. ISEE.
Are we sure?
I think you did. Unless you're somebody else that I thought. Who are you? Oh,
this
shit.
test to get into one of the 3 exam schools, BLS, BLA, and the O'Brien, is given in November to like tons of kids throughout the city. In 8th graders going to 9th grade, and more like notably 6th graders going into 7th grade. So what's happening is because of COVID, you can't really have these exams. So they're looking at different ways to have the exam and it be an equitable process. And this is a conversation that they've been having, since we were in BLA. So probably.
Or I think probably before that too, to be honest.
It's like at least
because
a 20-year long conversation about the equity or lack thereof equity
and
system.
and of course BLS folks and parents and the BLS community, and some aspects of the BLS community, I'll say, are like the kind of the forefront of this, like not wanting the change, which is expected because I mean BLS, like it's the oldest school in America. They're proud of their, you know, their elitism and racism for a long time. So what can you say? I would expect there was a gaggle of parents and concerned community folks out there on Sunday protesting that the possibility of not testing small children to get them into schools, that like the few schools that are actually supported in the city, barely even then. But
it's just excuse me, dog. Excuse me. It's just insane that we're still trying to defend this test. Like, these groups are basically like, there is a group right now. There actually is a committee meeting right now. So, if you don't know, the Boston public school system has a school committee that's picked by the mayor. This committee is kind of proposing this idea to make a new method for the test just for this year right now. And like Malaysia's talking about, there are a bunch of people protesting that outside of the school. There are also just people protesting it in general because they don't want it to change. They think that the current way of testing kids is like the most fair way, even though it is like
it's demonstrably like, not the most fair way. Like
it's been proven to be not the most equitable way, and it's kind of insane.
And people who passed the test and went to those schools know that it's not the most fair way. Like
me and Malaysia and the tons of people that went to BLS, BLA, and OB that know how unfair these schools are and how like let's talk about BLA, BLS, and OB real quick, and this idea that their schoolwork is so much more rigorous than the other high schools in Boston, because it's a lie. What's more rigorous is that maybe there are more expectations on you. Maybe because we have more access to funding, we have better APs and we have more APs. Those are all true. But that doesn't mean it's more rigorous. We just don't have support for people. Try going through anything in BLA, anything wrong in your life as a student, and you'll have like close to none support.
The other thing is that part of a test could be a lot more equitable if they actually invested in any other schools in Boston. Like we have a whole trade school in Madison, a whole vocational school, and they you know that school should be filled every year. I don't know what homie is doing, but that school should be filled. That school should be filled every single year, and it's not. Like, and it's thought of as a bad school. It's underfunded, undersupported. Like, and there are so many schools that, like, you know, these shouldn't be the only college preparatory schools. Like, and there should be other options for people who want other things. Like, there shouldn't be only 3 good schools in Boston. Like, that you know, and it's shown by the demographic makeup of these schools, especially BLS. Like,
one of this, like BLS being the whitest and basically a pipeline from the Catholic schools or like expensive prep schools.
Facts.
To BLS is like sick, and people just want to stand by it as if that's okay.
Like, it's really not. It's not fair. Like, and you know what? It's time to break down these institutions because they're holding people back. Like, I don't like a huge portion of my family went to BLA. Like, a lot of them, my mom, my dad, my brother for a while, like my aunts and uncle and cousins, like a lot of these people went to BLA. But it's like it's inequitable, and we know that. Like, for me, I always knew I was going to BLA, so I was ready to take a test in in 6th grade, and I was, my school had test prep, and I knew I was going to BLA, and that was it. Like, but for a lot of people, it's like some people just are surprised into it. Some people don't even know it exists. Some people can't take tests. Some people aren't able to, like it's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a mess of a system that it leaves so many people behind. It's not like, it just doesn't make sense anymore. That like you have merit based could be done in different merits. Kids are not solely just based off of freaking a report card and a test. Like that's just not what kids are based off of. And we know this. We know that standardized tests are shit. We know that they don't prove that kids are smart or stupid. It just proves that they know how to fill in bubbles. Like,
and they're like racist also. Just not catered to people of color. We found that out with IQ tests. We found that out with, every test, because there's differences in how people exist in society and how they interpret things.
Freaking whatchamacallit, the fact that people pay for tutors for that test. I didn't have a tutor for that test.
Pay. My school has some. The gym teacher taught us the reading class. After school, he gave us a bunch of SAT words. We were in 6th grade. It was great. I have a lot of them still. They're very helpful to me in my life. Like the word abject. I was like, ooh, interesting.
My test prep was, my mom, I think, either got the book from somebody or bought me the book at Barnes & Noble. And I read maybe a page? Maybe more. I'll give myself more credit. I read like...
What up, Hyphen Podcast crew? Hello. We love you.
So, yeah, I barely I barely read any of that book, and I still got in. And there are stories of people, somebody on my Twitter always talks about how, like, she knows people that just put C's, straight C's for the whole test and got into BLS.
Because that's what they told you to do in test prep. They're like, back then, this actually dates me as like I said, peak zillennial. They used to tell you to put C, because C was the most common answer on standardized tests, according to all your old teachers. C is the most common answer on standardized tests. So they would tell you, when in doubt, just answer C. Do they still tell kids that? Is that still
I don't know, but that's also what I used to get told.
Like,
if you don't know, just put C.
Yeah, I'm dating. I think we're dating ourselves there.
Whatever. Whatever, dating ourselves. But it's just so ridiculous that they're trying to uphold the system. There's a meeting right now. There's like a bunch. I know Tanisha Sullivan spoke. That author that now works for BU, whose name I can never say, spoke. I can pull it up for you, Malaysia, so you can read it.
Nina says that she definitely answered C when she was testing into OB. I don't remember, but I know that I probably answered C sometimes, because there were some questions definitely in that math section. I was like,
I'll always tell this story. But when I took that test, I don't know if maybe we hadn't covered negative signs yet in my math classes, or if I was just completely just ignored it. Because for a long time, I could pass math with just guessing. And when I saw those negative signs on that test, I said, I don't know what this means. And it was like negatives over fractions. And I said, I know negatives like -5 + 1. I know that.
She said what?
I said, hey, that should have been a sign of my future to come of doing very bad in math.
Oh no, man. Nina said her son got into OB doing the same with the C's, bro. Put in C as the... I don't know if that still works, kiddos, but I don't think anybody lets their kids watch this. Please don't. But if y'all do, I don't know if that still works, y'all, but that's what they used to tell us.
I even used to do it in regular test and BLA.
Y'all would do it in class, like it didn't work there though. Like it didn't work in algebra.
No, but in math classes sometimes I'd be like, C looked the closest, so C.
Yo, I'd be like, I got like 56. The answers are like 142, 38,
The answer would be
3,000, and like 12. And I'd be like, well, 38's closest to 52. So guess it's that one.
As you can tell, me and Malaysia both proud graduates of Boston Latin Academy.
Yeah.
Also proud graduates of failing at least one semester of pre-calculus.
At least.
At least.
Bruh.
I can't remember if I failed two.
I can remember that I failed all. I know I passed one. I think I passed one. I will say, but my teacher could have gave me a D. She knows she could have gave me a D. I was a senior.
The end statement about this is that the exam school exam is very redundant, but also it is what it is.
ISEE. The ISEE.
The exam school exam needs to be ended. There's no reason it should still exist, and there's no reason why we can't test it out this year. Like, of all years, not? This is the perfect year to test out something new. Like, there's never going to be a good time to test anything, especially on, like, your children. No one's ever going to want their children to be test bunnies, but it's either your child be a test bunny or your child never get in, like, never really have a chance to get in.
My thing is, like, we definitely need to, like, there definitely needs to be an equitable way. It shouldn't just be teachers recommending people, because that ends up racist and messed up a lot, too. Mm-hmm. But, like, there should be a lot of different systems. There should be a lot of different metrics for how they pick, like, because, you know, a lot of like let's be clear, like, some folks, like me and Alejandra, we kind of rolled in there off the strength of we're just good at taking tests. We were good at school as, you know, kids and smart or whatever they say, right? So, but there are a lot of people at BLA who studied, like, and they studied
hard.
You know, and so that tells you, like, it's nothing innate that makes you successful in these situations. Like if
nothing. Like
anyone could be successful at BLA if they have support, if they have the right structures.
Legitimately anybody. Like, me and Malaysia always talk about this. Malaysia is a great example of somebody that didn't do homework but still got decent grades. And we know countless other people that never did an assignment and maybe did the assignments that counted the most, got A's on all their tests and just got like a B or a C and said, okay, that's good enough. I don't want to do this work.
And these people are like geniuses. These are smart people, like very smart people.
Some of the smartest people I met at BLA never did a lick of homework.
Never did anything, some of them. If it
wasn't copying something.
They know who they are.
Look, if it wasn't copying homework, they weren't doing homework.
Bruh, there's a homework racket. Somebody should have been charging, but they weren't.
Missed opportunities.
You know? But anyway, I think that's all we have for tonight, unless somebody in the chat has something to say.
I have something to say.
Oh, you have something?
Some things that I got off of I don't know why I clicked on Lipstick Alley, but it was funny. DJ Envy is angry about Joe Biden's plans to increase taxes. So, as always, fuck DJ Envy, fuck the Beige Rage, and the Mero Bodega Hive for life.
Yo, like, I don't care about rich black people. I don't care about you. You're not. I don't care. I don't care about your hardships. I don't. Wow.
So, that, and also, Jennifer Lawrence said she was a little Republican before Trump and that she voted for John McCain. So,
I never liked her. Let's be who. Hey, can I raise my hand? Because I've said since she won the very first Oscar, at least, probably way before that, to be honest, that I didn't understand the hype. I think she's a very wooden actor. I think she doesn't fit most of the roles she gets. She always played really old people. And she's not good. She's just not good. And now, you know, see what we find out. Also, I guess we should quick talk about Chris Pratt, because everybody was talking about that for some reason. All it was a tweet that said which Chris is the best Chris. That's
all it was.
And it had the four Chris's. Had Chris Evans, Chris what's that man's name? Chris Pine, Chris Pratt, and what's the other one? There's another one. I don't care. It had another one, but anyway, everybody was like,
Chris Pratt, yeah.
They were like,
oh shit, now I need to know.
They were like, one Chris gotta go, and so everybody's not everybody, but a bunch of people like, obviously it's Chris Price, for reasons
Chris
or because
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, yeah.
I don't know why I said Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, yep. It was Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Pine. And it was just a tweet, like it was nothing. They do it all the time. And everybody like flipped out because a bunch of people were like, we don't like Chris Pratt. And I don't like Chris Pratt either. I've been saying it. And then all his little friends at Marvel Studios, his little rich hoes had to come out like he's a good person. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Robert Downey Jr. would say, I'm like, he's a Republican too. What do you mean? Like, all these rich people, like, it's about the money. Like, there's nothing, like, it's about the money. Like,
I just don't get why Jennifer Lawrence is saying this, first of all, because it's really funny that she would say this because, sorry, my brain's tracking on two tracks, but first of all, because people always say Hollywood is full of liberals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always funny because it's not.
It's definitely not.
They're centrists. And they're like on.
I mean, Denzel Washington is a Republican. Like, all these people are like.
The Rock has voted for both sides. Like, there are so many instances where, like, the Hollywood elite are not the actual liberals that you think they are, and it's always funny that they try and pin, pin these celebrities to be Democrats when it's not always the case. And I'm glad Jennifer Lawrence is saying this because I can continue to dislike her with a reason now.
I don't like her. She was a terrible Mystique. That's
worst Mystique.
That's a really big reason not to like her, to be honest. I really
my main reason.
Not like that. I didn't like her before that, but I really did not like that. Those movies were terrible in general, but like, seeing
Silver Lining Playbook ruined.
Terrible.
Her for me forever.
Yes, that one was. I think that was one of the main culprits, to be honest.
I am not a huge fan of the depiction of mental health through the lenses of white people because I think it's often romanticized.
They were just rich, like
yes,
they were just rich and they could do whatever they wanted, and they acted like they were teenagers, but they were like 40.
And, what was my second thought about that? My second thought is I don't care.
I like it when we talk about 2012 movies and review them. Like
Me too.
Right now.
What other 2012 movies is there to review?
I watched all the True Grit. When did True Grit come out? 2000. It was somewhere around there, 2012 or 13 or something like that. That movie is awesome. It's a remake of a Western from like the 60s. I think it had John Wayne, John Wayne, not my dude. I love Westerns, but John Wayne is such a, like, so overrated, like, but the newer True Grit with what's that man's name? Jeff and Matt Damon.
Jeff Bridges
and Matt Damon and Hallie Stanfield.
In 2010.
2000. That's close enough.
I was gonna say 2009 when you said those years, and I was like, no, I'm far off. And we were right in between.
That's close enough, yeah. So that's a great movie. One of my favorites, really. I love that movie. What else came out that year though? That Silver Linings Playbook year. I remember did Django come out that year? I think so.
Yes.
That movie, yeah. Quentin Tarantino.
But it came out it came out in December.
It was at that, but I think it was at that one though, wasn't it? It was at that
Sheesh. At that Oscar
show, yeah.
Probably. It's just, in conclusion, Jennifer Lawrence trash. In that like little I am quirky blah blah blah.
That's the other reason she's rude. Like, she's really rude to people. They think that's quirky for white women. They think that's like unique and quirky and like cute. And her like constantly being hungry and stuff is not like
a bad thing, but rather like a cute feature of her, and be like, damn, the bitch, y'all can't feed her.
I
Is
feel
this an
like
eating disorder? Is like, what's happening?
I feel like you should, if you're gonna be rude, you should just like claim being rude. Like me, like I claim being rude to people I don't like. Like Charlie Baker, I would look at like, bro, like that time I saw a homie and he wanted to talk to me and I knew I wasn't voting for his ass. So I just said, I know who you are and walked away.
I forgot to tell y'all about my experience with my COVID test. And I got it one yesterday, and I got the results today in the morning. Very fast results. I would go, if you ever need like a fast result, obviously it's not a guarantee, but the one in Everett did that shit mad fast. But
Everett,
anywho, I wanted to tell you about how I had to do it on myself. Me and Kane, as responsible travelers, although it's not very responsible to travel now. Question mark. As responsible people, we went
no
to
question
get COVID
mark,
tested.
you know.
As responsible people, we went to get tested and thinking, and on the website it said like a throat swab. So I was like, cool. We Googled it, it's less effective, and I was like, damn, that means I'm probably still gonna have to get the nose one later on this week. Fine. We show up and they're like, you're gonna take this, hold it in the middle and just push it up your nose and like just scrape and like rub. And I said, what? Me? You mean you in dress gown not gonna do it for me?
I don't think I could do that. Like I don't think I could shove a freaking Q-tip up my own nose. I don't think I could. Like I feel I know my mom couldn't. She couldn't. She would never.
It was I wouldn't do like it was
like if somebody did it, like if it was a nurse doing it, I'd be like, bruh, I hate this, but bruh, it's whatever. I cannot do that to myself. Sorry.
It was also like when she handed it to me, I almost didn't know where my nose was. I was like, but it was chill. Like if you like, just get a COVID test. I feel like everybody should just start getting like weekly or bi-weekly COVID tests, just to like ensure that they're like.
How much did it cost?
It was free.
Lit.
They're like free like everywhere.
Lit.
If you go, then this is the issue that I had is that for most places you have to call and schedule an appointment. I hate calling people. I really dislike it. It makes me very uncomfortable. So, for any of the state locations, and Revere is the one that is a state location, it's an online project. It's like Project Beacon or something, and you can just, it's like you go in your car and get tested. It's like a drive-through. They like scan a QR code on your phone, and you go to like, and like that's the first tent, and then you go to the next tent, and that's where like they hand you the test. And I'm like, this is like really cool that like we have such a like fast way to do it if you need that option. So highly recommend it. Although I don't recommend doing it yourself, but if you have the balls to do it yourself, do it. But also like Whittier Street, like Bowdoin. Is it Bowdoin? They have a health center, right?
I think so.
Harvard, which is by Blue Hill, East Boston Clinic, they all have COVID testing like facilities and stuff. You just need to call them or go to their websites. It's all free.
Queen.
Also, the city of Boston regularly has one. You just have to call, like, they have a number. It's connected to one of the health clinics. And you'll be in, like, there's one in Nubian Square. There's one sometimes by Grove Hall. There's another one in, like, different parts of the city. So if you do want to get tested, there are options to get COVID testing, especially if you've been around a lot of people, if you've traveled, or if you just, like, feel yucky, like, get tested. Better safe than sorry.
Let them know, King.
Excuse me, my name is Queen.
Let them know about all their options. All right, y'all. I think with that, we can wrap up.
I bid you adieu.
It was a great night, y'all. Peace out.
We were foggy at first, but we were live, baby. We live.
We made it.